Welcome to Food Service Volunteer Training, presented by the St. Petersburg Free Clinic. The learning objectives of the annual training are as follows: basic public health food protection practices, personal hygiene, food service personnel responsibilities, prevention and temperature/time control, and proper insect and pest control. Learning Objective 1, basic public health food protection practices. The governing instructions for the St. Petersburg Free Clinic for basic public health food protection practices are Florida Administrative Code 64E11, Section 3810072 of Florida statutes, and the FDA Food Code. Training and inspections are performed to protect, promote, and improve the health and safety of all people in Florida through integrated state, county, and community efforts. These codes are attached to the email for you to look over. Basic public health food protection practices continued. While being transported, stored, and displayed, food must be protected from dust, flies, vermin, toxic materials, unclean equipment, unnecessary handling, coughs and sneezes, flooding by sewage, overhead leakage, and all other sources of contamination. No person, while affected with any disease in a communicable form, or while a carrier of such a disease, or while affected with boils, infected wounds, sores, or an acute respiratory infection, can work in any area of a food service establishment in any capacity in which there is a likelihood of such person contaminating food or food contact surfaces with pathogenic organisms, or transmitting disease to other individuals, and no person known or suspected of being affected with any such disease or condition can be employed in such an area or capacity. Infants and children under 14 years of age are not permitted in food preparation areas. Only authorized individuals necessary for the operation of the food service establishment or as part of an organized educational event are allowed in the food preparation or utensil washing areas. Food must be stored in clear containers constructed of smooth, impervious materials. Food, other than cased cans, bottles, kegs, must be stored a minimum of 6 inches above the floor. This covers food hygiene standards, food containers, equipment and utensils, and food protection. Learning Objective 2, personal hygiene, hand washing, clean clothing, jewelry, and hair restraints. We ask that you wash your hands before and after engaging in activities that contaminate the hands, such as using the bathroom, handling animals, coughing or sneezing, touching soiled food. Rinse hands under clean, running warm water. Apply an amount of cleaning compound recommended by the cleaning compound manufacturer. Rub together vigorously for at least 10 to 15 seconds while paying particular attention to removing soil from underneath the fingernails during the cleaning procedure. Creating friction on the surfaces of the hands and arms or surrogate prosthetic devices for hands and arms, fingertips, and areas between fingers. Thoroughly rinse under clean running warm water. Immediately follow the cleaning procedure while thoroughly drying using a method as specified under Section 6.3 in the code attached to this email. Food volunteers shall wear clean outer clothing to prevent contamination of food, equipment, and utensils. Volunteers shall wear hair restraints such as hats, hair coverings or nets, beard restraints, and clothing that covers hair body that are designed and worn to effectively keep their hair from contacting exposed food, clean equipment, utensils and linens, and unwrapped single-service and single-use articles. This section does not apply to volunteers such as counter staff who only serve beverages and wrapped or packaged foods, hostesses, and wait staff if they present a minimal risk of contaminating exposed food, clean equipment, utensils, and line. We consider our volunteers exempt from this section of jewelry and hair restraints. Learning Objective 3, Food Service Personnel Responsibilities. Job duties, safe methods of handling, holding, and storing foods, proper sanitization of establishment, maintaining equipment and establishment premises. First is job duties. The job titles of the pantry are attached to this email. Please review the attached details. Volunteers must know the duties of each specific job. Next is safe methods of handling pantry food. These are as follows: evaluating the conditions of the food. Discard of cans if they have 1. Any dents in the seam, 2. Rusting that cannot be removed or wiped off, 3. Swollen or bulging ends, 4. Holes or signs of leakage. For fresh foods, discard of compost items if they have 1. Severe bruises, 2. Severe molding, and 3. Severe split skin. For meats, discard of meats that are 1. Open or damaged, 2. Unlabeled, 3. Has freezer burn, 4. Has mold or bad odor, and lastly, 5. Shows signs of thawing and freezing. For packaged foods, discard of 1. Unlabeled, 2. Punctured and or sliced, and 3. Or cut packaging. Next is safe methods of holding and storing food, which are as follows: 1. Keeping meats separated from produce. 2. Do not put meat over produce in refrigerated areas. 3. Controlling the temperature of the food. Proper sanitization of an establishment. Volunteers have the responsibilities to report any of the following symptoms: vomiting, diarrhea, jaundice, sore throat with fever, or have been diagnosed by a health practitioner by the following: neurovirus, hepatitis A virus, Shigella, Shingatoxins producing Escherichia coli, Salmonella or non-typhoidal salmonella. If volunteers are aware of any sickness, we ask that you refrain from coming into the pantry shift. Maintaining equipment and establishment premises. All equipment used must be up to date and working properly. If any equipment is not working, we ask that you please notify staff immediately. Learning Objective 4, Prevention and Temperature/Time Control. Causes and effects of Big 6 foodborne illnesses: 1. Salmonella, 2. Norovirus, 3. Hepatitis A, 4. Shigella, 5. E. coli, and 6. Non-typhoidal salmonella. We ask that volunteers understand the temperature danger zone is 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Pathogens on food can grow in this range and can cause foodborne illness such as the ones listed on the slide. Dry storage canned items should be stored at 50 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Special dry, such as pasta and rice, should be stored at 50 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. All coolers should be at 35 to 41 degrees Fahrenheit. All freezers should be kept at 0 to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Learning Objective 5, Proper Insect and Pest Control. The free clinic has regular pest control services. We have monthly records that are maintained by management. If you see any evidence or insect or pest activity, please seek staff immediately. This concludes the food service volunteer training. The free clinic thanks you for your diligence to keeping our food safe. We ask that you review and go over each attached item to the email. Please remember the next shift that you arrive to sign the sheet that you have completed this training. Thank you for all that you do.